Hey, Shepherds here with a deck video of what I think could be the best deck of the current format, which is September 1st of 2013. It's a Fire King, Fire Fist deck build, and the reason why I think it could be the best deck build of the current format is because of what I played up against at my locals and went 4-0 with 10 people. I play up against a Infernity, Mermail, Blackwing, and Photons. And they're all pretty good decks and pretty good players. And I had a hard time beating them because of they're good with the decks and a lot of the plays that they made. But this deck came up on top with 4-0, which I think is pretty good. So anyway, you didn't come here to hear me ramble about me and my victories. Here's a deck build. 2 blasters because the entire deck is fire based, and this is good because you discard it and a fire type monster and destroy a card and banish 2 fire types to summon it from hand or grave. So yeah. Next up is 2 Flameville Fire Dog. And he's pretty much self-explanatory because you attack into a monster, you get his effect, summon a monster with 200 defense or less, and attack again, and that starts off some really evil combos, which I'll talk about later on. So 2 Flameville Fire Dogs. And the key card to this deck, which I found out today, the Japanese just don't use for their Fire King decks, which makes no sense, because this deck helped me out a lot. Its effect is, when this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, during the next demo phase, summon it and destroy all other current monsters on the field. And since you have 2 of them, if you have 2 out on the field, once he's summoned, and the other ones are currently already on the field, summon him, he will blow up this one, and later on the whole thing would start all over again. So yeah, it's a key card to the deck. It's pretty difficult to end, and the thing about it is, if you destroy him by battle, which is pretty much one of the only ways to stop it, you get to summon a Fire King monster from your deck, which is pretty stupid with the cards that I will be coming up with pretty soon. So 2 Garunix, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Gorilla. I only run 1, and since I run at least 8 fire formations, his effect, which allows me to destroy a fire formation, destroy a spell or trap card on my opponent's side of the field, and its other effect is once it destroys a monster by battle, you get to set a fire formation, which is pretty good. And I run 2 bears. I don't run 3, mainly because it only needs 2 and only own 2, so yeah, bear. If you don't know, bear's effect is you can send 1 fire formation card from your side of the field to the graveyard to destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if it deals damage to your opponent, set a fire formation card. So yeah, 2 of him. And Yaksha, the Fire King avatar Yaksha, which is a pretty good card. Main reason why I won. And at the time I only ran 1 Yaksha, which running 1 Yaksha allowed me to get in first place 4-0 with no losses. It's pretty good, so why not add 2 to make it even worse and harder for your opponent. So its effect is, if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is destroyed and sent to your graveyard, you can destroy 1 card in your hand or that you control. You can only use this effect of Fire King Avatar Yaksha once per turn, which combo this up with either Flameville Fire Dog, since it has 200 defense, you can summon him and tag into a monster purposely, obviously destroys him, destroy the Garunix that's in your hand, and starts the Garunix loop like that. So really good card. Run 2 of them. And another card that just starts things up because of Yaksha and other cards is the Fire King Avatar Brong. Its effect is pretty much if a Fire King Avatar monster is destroyed by a card effect, you get to summon him from your hand, and if this card is destroyed by a card effect, during the next demo phase you could add a Fire King card from your deck to your hand. That includes monsters or spells, so yeah. And I run 3. And that's it for the monster lineup. For spells, I use 2 Onslaught of the Fire Kings. What it does is, if your opponent controls a monster and you do not, you get to summon one, one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast type monster from your deck, which you mainly only use this for Garunix, which if you have Garunix in your grave or hand, you get to summon forth anything else, like Brong or Yaksha or any other monsters that could start things. So run 2 of those. Yeah, 2. Add 2 Circle of the Fire Kings, which what it does is you can target one fire type monster you control, destroy that monster and send it to the graveyard, and summon one fire type monster from your graveyard. Which if you, again, destroy Garunix or Brong or Yaksha, get their effects, and destroy all monsters on the field pretty much, and just keep going broken. Run 2 of them, and it's a quick spell to make it even worse, so you could set it and kind of trick your opponent thinking it's something else, target Garunix, and yeah. 2. Dark Hole, because Dark Hole. Book of Moon. Fire Formation Tensu, which allows me to normal summon a Beast Warrior type monster in addition to my already normal summon, and it gives all my Beast Warriors plus 100 attack, and I use 2 of them. Tenki allows me to add a Beast Warrior from my deck to my hand, and it gives all my Beast Warriors 100 plus attack. And here's a funny card that annoyed all the people that I played up against. Fire Formation Gaioku, or however you pronounce that name. What it does is you can target, when you activate this card, you get to target one spell or trap card your opponent controls, one set spell or trap card your opponent controls. They cannot activate that card, and they cannot activate it in chain to this card's activation, so that annoyed all my opponents, and I run 2. I would run 3 if I owned 3, but as soon as I do, I'll put in description and just go like, yeah. So it's a pretty good card, and yeah, run 2. And that was all the spells. Now the traps. 2 Call the Haunted, mainly because if you have Garunix, Brong, Yaksha, or any other Fire King monsters, your opponent would MST the face down card. You chain to activate it. They would get summoned, and Call Hunter would destroy them, and you'd get their effects. So it's a pretty good trump card. And now Dimensional Prison, 1 Horn of the Phantom Beast, Torrential Tribute, Tensin, Fiendish Chain, Bottomless Trap Hole, Breakthrough Skill, Black Horn of Heaven. Everybody says this is a bad card, but it isn't. Since a lot of people synchro and exceed these days, you just set this, and since it has no throwback other than it could only stop pretty much the summons of inherited summons, which is pretty much only synchros and exceeds. Activate this, and they lose their monster. Yeah. So 1 Mirror Force, and 1 Warning. And that's it for the main deck. So now my extra deck is 1 Tiger King, 2 Brotherhood of Firefist Cardinal, 2 Level Chain. Level Chain is another good card for this deck because the combo I use it for, which is activate, no, not Tenki, Tensu, add a Yaksha to my hand, level chain effect, put a Grunix on top of my deck, draw into Grunix, normal summon, next turn, draw into Grunix, normal summon Yaksha, destroy it with one of your spells, with a Circle of the Fire Kings, or Dark Hole, destroy Grunix, and yeah, so 2 level chain. Deck is to Emerald, mainly because Pot of Everice is banned, and it's good draw power. Abyss Dweller for those decks like Dark Worlds and Mermails that activate all their stuff in the grave. Photon Pafalever, however you pronounce that name. So, number C39 Utopia Ray for when you're under 1,000 life points and you need the win. Utopia is along with it. And Synchros, Synchros, Black Rose Dragon, Brotherhood of the Firefish Kirin, and Crimson Blader. So yeah, that was my Fire King Fire Fist deck. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you later. Bye.